Winner semi-final time here in Arlington, and we've got two huge teams on our stage right now. Two teams with things to prove. Shopify Rebellion, who came through that epic series a little bit earlier against Optic Gaming. Well, now on the other side of the stage, you've got Spacestation. And Spacestation come into this event with so much to prove. Beating Shopify Rebellion here makes it very interesting.
It would be massive. Of course, you heard it on the desk just how much this team has been talked about in the offseason and even also during the case on Invitational. People doubting them, right? Also, let's not forget, maybe in this exact matchup, for good reason, they found themselves falling to Shopify Rebellion 3-0 back-to-back series. Not just the LM final, but their first series as well. And now the question is, what will they bring here? Very interesting set of games for this series, I must say. Assault Fortress, not Shopify's best bomb game type. Slayer Livefire, not their best Slayer. Also Stronghold Recharge, maybe a game that will go in their favor, but also Oddball Streets, not their best oddball map. So when you put all that together, plus Game 5, let's not forget, SSG has beaten Shopify before in that exact game type. This one could get interesting indeed. The question is, what work has SSG done over the past 2 weeks since facing Shopify on LAN for the first time? What reps have they put in? How will they get ready for this game number one?
One interesting thing for me as well is this is a slightly different looking and feeling Space Station from what we saw at that K-Sun event. This is a Space Station that looks like they're ready to win series. They're ready to send these big series deep, and there's just a little bit more to them when they come into these series. There's a little bit more weight to how they are performing and working together, and the biggest test of all, it's going to be Shopify Rebellion. They are the bar at the moment in this year of Halo Infinite. We'll have to see where Space Station are if they can cause the upset here against Shopify.
All right, underway, of course, two teams that we expected to also see and hoped that we would see play, but playing even earlier than maybe, once again, some might have expected here based on the results so far. And right away, it's LastShot trying to get into his opponent's spiral, and it will be battles for the spiral all game long. 2 dead for Shopify off of the opening.
I mean, the movement from SnakeBite there in that fight was absolutely phenomenal. Just made himself such a difficult kill. StelluR now under the base already, a little bit of pressure onto the Shopify side, but Royal 2 set up on his tower with a sniper rifle and should have a pretty comfortable kill onto Eco here. 2 dead on the side of SSG. Shopify and Royal 2 fly forward, and I love this angle that Royal 2 is taking.
Just going to hold this down, and like you say, impossible for really anyone to challenge him. He's going to have a safe passage here from A1 up into the spiral, and now be able to take new angles as well. Takes down Eco easily, 3 dead for SSG.
Bodies another player as well. That bomb will be moving very soon, you would imagine. StelluR off the respawn. Narrowly avoids the chunky missiles coming his way from the sniper rifle of Royal 2. But this is just such a nuisance position to try and flush out. Royal 2 has found this as one of his preferred positions on this map, and you can see exactly why. So many angles to play around and so many escape routes for him to play as well.
Yeah, it might only be flushed out purely because of running out of ammo in this case. He's going to stay alive still. It was 2 dead. And now 2 spawners on the elbow side once again. And there's a reason we call this the modern day hut. It feels a lot like Sanctuary, just holding down your opponent's hut and raining down damage at the spawners.
Oh, that one felt like it hurt for SnakeBite. That was a close range sniper rifle bullet received unwillingly from the SSG man. Frosty helps Cykul stay alive, is 2 dead again, and finally the bomb will go in towards the base. Shopify Rebellion with 3 members in the death screen from Space Station, and that will be 1-0. That is efficiency personified.
Wow, beautifully done. And also the first spawner also falls, which means it should be an overshield grab here for LastShot. Nade comes through. No, he hesitates, says not grab right away. Will it cost them? 2 dead for each side.
It was a momentary 3 dead for SSG, so you would imagine the access is still going to be there towards that overshield. Quicker off the respawn here for Shopify Rebellion. They should be at least able to fight for it. Players from SSG have snuck into Ring 1 though. It's going to be interesting to see if it was burnt, or maybe if they get away with it. It's actually Lucid who gets away with it. Moves that bomb straight in towards the arm zone.
Gets
and Frosty can't find an angle right now.
Melted by 2 players, had all of that overshield getting onto the porch, but you could tell that was a team shot. That overshield got ripped off so fast. It's a really nice piece of work from Shopify to stop the arm.
SnakeBite under the base though, here at A1, just trying to see if he can find some angles and do some more damage and essentially pin Shopify Rebellion into their base. Cykul flies in. Cykul with a couple of Uncycle-like shots, but finally does get the job done. But this is more like Cykul, staying alive, being a nuisance. Eco and Lucid trying to flush him out, and almost forgot about it for a second there.
Eventually taken down, as you said. SnakeBite also with some good damage in that sequence. 2 dead here for Shopify.
Bomb is in the courtyard as well. Lucid went for a little touch on that, but it is going to be reset. So back to bottom middle, that bomb will go. The objective neutralized by Shopify Rebellion. Good defensive players on their end just to make sure that pressure didn't turn into that bomb being advanced and potentially armed once more.
See what SnakeBite can do here. Things slow down for just a moment to breathe here with just under 9 left. And SSG knows they've got a lot of time on the clock. However, things can go pretty quickly if you fail to grab the right bit of control on this game type.
These obnoxious corners that Shopify Rebellion are playing. Like, they know that they've got a sniper rifle going against them. They don't want to give any easy shots. They want to try and waste this ammo, just shoulder peek. Force SnakeBite to make a play. Hit a big shot. As the overshield is popping in 3 seconds time. SnakeBite is in the perfect place to get it, but he's going to have to deal with Cykul.
Oh, man.
And Cykul hits the body. And Frosty collects that overshield.
Wow. Oh, wait, back though. StelluR gets the back whack there. The Achilles heel will come through, which is big. It was 3 dead. They neutralized the overshield. Here comes StelluR.
Such a good play from StelluR. The timing on that from SSG, immaculate. 3 players have respawned, but one of them's back in the respawn screen already. Nade's going in towards that snipe side. I like what I'm seeing from SSG. It's a double kill here for StelluR. A killing spree for him, and they are trapping Shopify on that snipe side, but they just can't link these kills together and get all of Shopify falling consecutively. It feels like a 2, and then fight another 2, and then another 2. They just can't get this clean 4 that they're looking for.
Interesting trade coming in there in the end with the melee. Instead, it will be now Cykul advancing the bomb, and as you said, they kept things chaotic. They also maintain a lead here as they start to bring the bomb all the way across. An important 1v1 bottom of the base. Both players will disengage and agree to fight later on. In the end, it's SnakeBite who comes in and helps to clean up that Cykul kill A1, which of course was an ever important kill in that situation.
Frosty last alive momentarily for Shopify Rebellion at the top tower, just playing his life. SnakeBite's looking to take him down. But Frosty, again, just being such a difficult kill. Somehow he gets out of that with a double kill there as he whips his reticle to the player who was just creeping around on the fences outside of the ring. 3 dead again for Shopify. And one thing we were discussing in the build-up to this game is if SSG want to have success, they have to win those individual fights they find themselves in. They have to match slay for slay what Shopify Rebellion are doing. And to be fair, doing quite a good job of it so far.
Yeah, so far so good. SnakeBite gonna try to stay alive as the last alive. Gets some good damage, but it will be a staggered 4 dead for SSG, which means LastShot will stay alive here in the spiral. But really, we need to look back to bottom mid once again. Overshield popping in just a few seconds.
1 dead on either side at the moment. It's a bit of a stalemate around bottom middle. That overshield is now up. SnakeBite does some damage, but it's exchanged by Frosty, and there's a player who's pushing through somewhere behind enemy lines here. It's going to mean that Frosty can get the overshield. It means that now Shopify Rebellion can push forward, and even though StelluR's just grabbed that sniper, he's already taken damage. He's under pressure, and Frosty will collect the SSG sniper now and can start to go to work.
Ooh. A few shots coming from the elbow, which he knows means he needs to turn about face. Actually getting challenged from 3 angles there, so really good prioritization from SSG of Frosty with the snipe, but StelluR as the last player alive because 3 were dead for SSG. Cykul's going to start the arm.
Cykul's got this difficult corner for SSG to deal with, but Lucid will come off the respawn on the armory side and manage to get that bomb once again back to a neutral position. Both teams playing fantastic defense so far. Yeah. Just that one opportunity that was taken by Shopify Rebellion, a lot of it off the heavy lifting that Royal 2 was doing on the armory side. Creating those opportunities, creating those numbers advantages. SSG have had that bomb inside of the arming zone of Shopify Rebellion a couple of times, but just not able to back those slays up and create that time needed to get that arm.
Yeah, unsurprisingly, the game type plays a lot like 3 dead once again for SSG, by the way. The game type is a lot like Sanctuary of old. It's really about control, then you poke, then you prod, and then based on the spawns and the damage, you decide if this is, okay, this is the time we go. Or do we need 1 to 2 more slays? And do we need to keep them at bay here? Do we need to force a split spawn? You're constantly making those types of decisions. And really, sometimes you might have to control the enemy base for 90 seconds before you actually decide to go.
I like what Shopify Rebellion actually did. I think it was Cykul who just brought the bomb out and threw it actually on the side that Frosty was watching, trying to make a Spacestation member overextend to get eyes on that bomb and potentially train into the reticle of this man on your screen. It's going to be a triple kill and a killing spree here for Frosty. Last player alive is going to be Eco. He peeks and he gets his shields ripped off as well.
Wow, the amount of damage from Frosty here, and we'll revisit that in a moment because overshield popping bottom mid, this should once again be a Frosty grab, and it will be a clean one. He just dodges each of the pre-nades and instead will come away with the overshield after all of that damage as well. He's 17 and 10.
And it feels like at the moment that Shopify are prioritizing just keeping Space Station on their side of the map. They don't want to really progress that bomb unless they feel completely comfortable with doing, and they've earned the right to do that due to the fact that they have that 1-0 lead in this game.
Good awareness from Frosty as well. Notice he kept checking ring 1 and Bond. He knows SnakeBite's behind them. They're aware of that player there.
Well, mid-map's open at the moment. StelluR finds one onto Frosty to clear him out the base. Shopify should manage to hold ring control for now, but the bomb is a problem for them because Spacestation have got to clear this bomb out of their base. You can see Cykul now looking to move towards it. A little touch on this and it turns the attention back towards their base instead of progressing the bomb out towards the Shopify base. So SSG once again having to play defense here.
Nice shot, stays alive as well, bottom base. That's going to be huge. That will also keep the bomb alive. Now that will also allow them to now make the move here. Let's go ahead and see if they can get the arm. They're going to go ahead and start this here.
Wonder if SSG have any lines of sight, to be honest with you. There's one player who looks like he's going to be able to maybe get the stop at the last second, but that fuse is lit, and now it's just about maybe finishing it off, but the toss comes in to get it out of the base, but it's 4 dead for SSG, and we know how sticky that arm is. Look how much progress is already here. LastShot moves in, and it will be armed. It will be 2-0 to Shopify Rebellion.
Sticky arm was the name of the game indeed. LastShot decides to just say, you know what, I'm going to go down with the ship. Circles back, gets taken down, will respawn back at his base. But as you said, the sticky arm really being a factor there. You can't just toss the bomb out. You need to actually, if you really want to get out of your base, you need to hold it for a split second as well to start to disarm the bomb before just throwing it out. 2-0 with 2 minutes left.
Royal 2 is so at home. By the way, Royal 2 is 24-8. 24-9 as he gets taken down, but I had to double take on that. I was like, is that 24 kills, 9 assists? And then I was like, nope, it's 2 9s. He is such a nuisance on this map.
Lucid trying to make something happen, finds one, also knows the players on the BR, but getting challenged now from all 3 remaining players. Does very well to make sure to isolate those 2, and he knows where the last 2 are as well.
But where's that bomb? Where's that bomb progressing? It looks like SSG have got it in towards the armory. Frosty's down, it's 4 dead.
Wow.
It's 4 dead, and all of the players from Shopify have fallen consecutively. You would expect this to be a bomb arm here, and indeed it is. SSG have life in this game. It's now 2-1.
Not over just yet, and look at the clinical way in which they did it. By the way, Cykul spawned way out. They didn't even have to worry about him. He's still alive on the map, so they'll have to focus on him at bottom arches. However, as you say, 2-1. Still everything to play for in this game.
And it's off the back of the overshield pickup as well. That was what gave Lucid the opportunity to move forward. Royal 2 would much rather be in his opposition spiral than his own as he gets taken down by Lucid. And finally, it looks like Shopify have picked up enough slays here just to progress up the map. It was about 60 seconds of struggle for them. 1 minute 30 left in this game.
Was 3 dead here. SnakeBite was your last player alive, and he has a big role here to make sure he continues dealing damage for his spawners.
Bomb is down in the courtyard of Spacestation Gaming. 1 minute 20 left on that game clock. Eco does manage to move that bomb to a neutral position once more. Frosty at the moment is trying to decide, am I looking for damage? Am I looking to pin SSG? Or am I just making sure that that bomb does not progress any further than where it is at the moment? Mid-map is fine for us, but if it starts to creep towards our courtyard, it becomes a problem.
Absolutely. Wants to stay alive here at all costs. You can just tell by the gameplay, disengages right away. Like, as you say, they only need to slay here for another 55, and shots like that will make the job even easier.
Well, it was 3 dead momentarily. Cykul will just even the numbers as Shopify do respawn on the map. And Cykul actually done a really good job of just not staying alive, but picking up some damage and some kills, which allows Royal 2 to move to bottom mid. Gets that next overshield, and that might be the thing that hurts Spacestation the most in these final moments. Fighting against this lineup is tough, but when they've got the overshield and you have to advance that bomb, it's very tough. But Royal 2 is last alive.
He's last in the wrong base here. Let's see if he tries to rotate this back. This is interesting here. He finds himself way out. He had the overshield, but it's been taken off, and they're going to start to make something happen on the opposite side.
Lucid gets one inside of the other base. Royal 2 from downtown, cross map, has eyes on that bomb, but Spacestation might just leave Royal 2 here. But Royal 2 is not going to leave Spacestation across map with this barrel rifle, causing so many problems.
Wow, for real. Brilliantly played here. He knew he had to work with the spawners, but here comes down the push.
They do get a touch on it, but it's not going to be enough. And Royal 2 from that position actually might have saved the game for Shopify Rebellion to keep it at 2-1. 2 important kills on that player looking to arm the bomb, but when it is all said and done, 2-1 will be your final score here in map number 1. Shopify Rebellion will got one in the series.
You got to say, a lot of times when you look at that, if you have overshield in your opponent's cave as they're about to start arming, that is a dicey scenario. But when you have a player like Royal 2 who knew exactly how to angle himself away from SnakeBite, on the porch, then go flag, pick up 2 kills. Obviously, the comms would have been on point there to make sure they're prioritizing whoever was arming. As you say, not only that, but he goes 30-11 in game number 1 to make a statement. They take the game 2-1.
Not bad. Not bad from Royal 2. Looks so comfortable on that map. It's one of those players who's just...
Excuse me, 30-13.
30-13. But my point still stands here. 13. He's so comfortable when he has a map where there's spawn points which he can look at and he gets good LOSs on, right? He can always put himself in a good position to output damage. I always think back to Halo Reach Sanctuary. He was an absolute demon when he was playing the car bridges, when he was playing ring angles and shooting into the rocks, into the courtyard, wherever it might be with that snipe. And it looks very natural for him, the way that Fortress plays, and it kind of just fits into his natural play style.
It really does. And also, you just get the feeling that with these new game types, Shopify just has them dialed in, not only in terms of the matchup against SSG, but also with the way that they approach each of the new game types in the suite, whether it was the case on Invitational or Scrims, or here in their first few series. Just playing, it feels like everyone, as we've said previously, on the same page. Really good game management throughout the entire game. I think SSG got very close, put up a great fight, and even in the end, looked like maybe they were going to get another bomb on the board, but Shopify just looking too strong.
Yeah, you just wonder about that last overshield. You know, Royal 2 gets away with it as last alive.
Yeah.
If they manage to neutralize that or even pick it up, SSG have control of the other side of the map. They have control of the Shopify base, and all eyes can look forward towards that bomb that's being armed. But unfortunately, it's ifs and buts, and you don't really get the opportunity to make those decisions, to think about that if you don't secure the power-ups yourself. I mean, you're looking at the total power-up pickups, Shopify certainly dominated that.
Without a doubt. And I think also they specifically dominated the 15 seconds prior to each overshield, right? Royal 2 is able to get away with that overshield as last player alive because they had the full Slay rotation. And as you saw, he was nearly completely uncontested in Ring 1 with that grab. So he's then able to kind of weave away, even though he loses teammates. He puts himself in the right place, as you just saw. That will secure the game 2-1 on Fortress Bomb. And as we said, that is not even Shopify's best bomb. They'll now move into StelluR Live Fire, which at the case on Invitational was only narrow wins. They were winning games about 50-47 on this game type. So an opportunity certainly for SSG to get right back in this.
And SSG, I feel like Live Fire is a little bit more natural for them. It feels like a map that they've done some work on. They feel somewhat comfortable in comparison to some of the early performances that we saw from them. And I think Lucid is going to be the man to watch. Got to put that snipe to use. We say it a lot now, but it's in this game type in particular, that is what swings this game. That is the difference maker. If you can get it, usually the camo's coming up while you've still got some ammo in the weapon itself, and you can just lock down that lane, make it so difficult to contest that camo without taking damage. So first thing first, get it in his hands. Second thing, put it to work.
Without a doubt. And I think they're going to continue to look to the veterans here. It feels like with Royal 2 or Frosty, as long as you have one of them kind of putting up big numbers, Shopify seems unbeatable in that game. Goes without saying, it's Royal 2 that goes more than double positive to close out that game number 1, and that is not easy for this SSG side to fight against.
So some stern looks on the faces of SSG. I think they would have known coming into this series, it's not going to be an easy one. It's going to be a long series. A lot of oxygen flowing into StelluR.
That's why you bring the nasal. That's why you bring the nasal strip, ready to go the distance. I feel like I need one right now.
It's very true.
I feel like I came unprepared, comparatively.
Maybe next to it. Maybe we can get a deal struck with. I don't know who makes those.
Nosestrips.com.
But for SSG, they would have known coming into this series, it's not likely going to be a 3-0 if they want to come out of it as the victors. It's going to be a couple of games that go against them due to the quality of the opposition that sat across on the stage from them. And I'd say B-Man looks very comfortable right now, very happy.
Yeah, look at that big smile on his face. Also, we didn't get to talk about it because that game was so nonstop. I didn't want to interrupt the action, but I got to talk to Frosty, the man on your screen, after the series that we casted earlier, and I said, man, it was so interesting hearing you say, in the listen-in live, let's stop team shooting. Let's stop firing together. You guys need to win your ones. He's like, when I came off the reason I said that, as we take a look at the top slayers here between Royal 2 and StelluR, he said the reason I said that was because I kept seeing teammates spawn and look towards teammates instead of the direction they needed to be looking at. And guess what? That was a Game 5 Slayer call in the middle of the game. And it wins them the game because they focus on their own individual battles. And you could say that we saw that in game number 1 as well, right? That's an amazing ability to say, hey, I actually don't think we should help each other at all, and I expect you to win your 1v1s. That's the level that we're at in Halo Infinite, and that's the level that Shopify Rebellion is playing at.
We're going to have to see if StelluR can match the level that we've seen from Royal 2 since he joined this Shopify Rebellion lineup. He has been reborn, it feels like, Royal 2. A new sense of endeavor in his gameplay and the way that he's approaching these games and these series. And for StelluR, he was the man of last year, I think, for a lot of people. He was the one who would match anyone when it came to the numbers at the end of a big game, at the end of a big series, and when it came to big moments as well. And I think for SSG, they're going to look towards him as well, alongside Lucid, to be that X factor in this series, and especially in this next game type where we know how dominant that rifle can be.
Big moment here for SSG, you think, with the whole week, in terms of this entire weekend, to be able to tie this series 1-1, take a breath, and get ready for the depths of this series instead of finding themselves a 2-0 deficit heading into game number 3. You know, see Lucid on your screen, you know these players are going to be aware of just how much is on the line in this game number 2.
Well, we're almost ready to go here into game number 2. Shopify Rebellion with a 2-1 win on Fortress Bomb to put themselves up 1 in the series, but I've got a little bit of a feeling there might be a few extra games in this series than just the 3 that we've seen in some of our series earlier today. We'll have to find out if we're going to go at least to game 4 here, as SSG will look to answer back to Shopify Rebellion in that win in game number 1 by taking StelluR here on live fire.
The question is, what speed is this game played at, right? I think both of these teams we've seen, they like at times to slow games down, and they're very, very good at it. They understand the dynamics that you need to hit when you're striking, the balance between the two. As we get ready to get into game number 2 here to see which one's going to come out on top.
StelluR's going to be the POV that we watch off the rip here, and he's moving immediately towards that sniper rifle. So an opportunity for him to be the X factor. Body shot comes in. Lucid will get his 2nd of the game, 3rd of the game, I should say, as he will clean it up. It's a great start here for SSG. They're up 3-1, but most importantly, I think not just the lead, they have that sniper rifle in the hands of the man they want it in.
What happened on Lucid's POV to get 3 kills within the first 15 seconds of the game? We'll have to go ahead and find out later, but 4-2 is the lead. Frosty does get the camo in the end, though, even though they trail by 3 here. So this is a big opportunity to keep the game close for Frosty early on.
2 dead for Shopify, though, which means that Frosty's just going to have to buy some time. And the more time that he has to buy, the more time disappears from him being effective with this camo. StelluR also picked up another kill with that sniper rifle somewhere along the lines. And as Frosty jumps in to find one, SnakeBite takes to the skies with that repulse and makes him back down.
Well handled by SnakeBite there. Not easy when you have a camo player jumping up, and oh my goodness, wins the battle against Frosty. Long-time teammate that really he shouldn't have won in that scenario. That keeps SSG's lead here by 2.
You wonder what the pace is going to be of this game. Well, it seems like it's very deliberate. Very tactical almost, in the way that these teams are kind of surgically just tiptoeing forward or looking for angles. It's 2 dead for Shopify, but still the 2-kill advantage here, making 3 kills as Eco picks up a beatdown. And everybody just knows their role, just knows how dangerous it is. I think everyone's just very aware of how dangerous it is on either side to go 2 or 3 dead here.
Exactly. They know they do not want to be just giving away any free kills or any free leads early on in this game, and that's why we're tied here essentially right at the 12-kill mark. But I couldn't agree more. I think with these 2 teams, you're not going to see them play this game type crazy fast unless a game gets blown wide open. It's going to be a tactical slayer,
Frosty!
and speaking of tactical, it's a big 1v1 win against Lucid.
Oh, he just murdered Lucid in that individual fight. Royal 2 and LastShot pick up another, and those moments are the ones that maybe send a few tremors through Spacestation. If you don't see Lucid lose those. But this is Frosty, and this is just a Frosty that is the Frosty we have talked about for so many years.
2 dead here, needs to play this slowly with camo coming up, and has a little bit of help from LastShot on scoreboard as he gets taken down. However, this should be a camo for SSG to try to bring this back.
Frosty's
and there
running.
he is.
Frosty kills him. It's 3 dead. For Spacestation, they get the camo. It's 4 dead. For Spacestation, as Frosty does not care if you get that power up. He sees you anyway.
And despite SSG leading really all the way until the 12-kill mark, it's now Shopify heating up in the game and the series. Let's get into a listen-in with Shopify Rebellion.
They're gonna hit me, Sniper stuff, guys. Cut one. Post, kill me, post. Dice or not. One safe, dice person. He went top in. You're gonna spawning mode. Double back, Preston. They're gonna spawn around your body. Yo, man, go back.
Two on my beam, dummies.
Absolute cuts.
Check cuts, stop, watch on top. Up 5.
Go bottom.
Rush up.
They're hitting me. I hit yo, can you guys hit top? Keto to jail. Bottom mid running away. Why? It's a dummies. Can you go? Stop chasing.
Pillars out.
I'll be by the way. Push. Top tower sniping. I got melee. One shot top tower. Absolute top tower. One got mud.
Nice.
I traded. One more top tower. I got elbow sniping top tower. Watch out, Lucid. Yo, cuts right now going high cuts. Yo, top mid.
Finesse.
Top mid dice. Yo, spawn. We're gonna just you, man.
He dropped.
I can hit top mid already. And top tower sniping. Top mid in vent. Going bottom mid weak. Top tower sniping. Yo, tires. One shot, tires.
Oh my god!
Top tower sniping. Kill this guy. Top tower. Still top tower.
Elbow, he's sniping.
He's weak.
Elbow. One shot. One's up.
I need to do swatter care.
Gonna plant. They just picked up swatter. Gonna be big, man. Gonna be big, man.
Plant. I'm man. I'm jumping up. Yeah, one in jail.
Could be out rat. Yo, could be out.
One jail.
What's elbow me, guys?
Back me, corner. I hit him 3 times.
Oh, you press it. Oh, one time on me, just
Spawning A.
Camo 12.
Spawn tower.
Hold on.
Yo, Wyatt, I'm following you.
Camo 5, guys.
Oh my god. One per day. He's going into yo.
Let's stay plant. Dice.
Camo's up now. Hey, pot as well. That means one shot, guys. One guy keto right now. One on me, guys. One cuts. One hit cuts going dummies.
One guy was bottom mid.
One's dummies, guys.
Could be behind you.
First time getting camera, first engagement.
Well, you can hear the emotion in the comms from Shopify Rebellion. They're getting all sorts of fired up. There's been some big individual battles being won by members across the board from Shopify, and it leaves us at 42-35.
Gotta love the intensity and listening the entire time. Just to a lot of people who maybe haven't played or watched a lot of professional Halo, it might sound like chaos, but my goodness, is it ever organized chaos? A lot of stressing of the most important callouts. You heard specific players, like the players in Mud, like the players in Pillars. They're making sure they get these kills, and the team is really on the same page communication-wise.
The SSG were trapped to the back of tower here. A lot of damage has been done, but somehow they come out of that with a couple of kills to their name without being traded out. Royal 2's last alive here. And at 39-45,
Not over.
SSG are probably thinking
man.
that maybe, just maybe, they could do something, but Royal 2 with just one extra kill has made this within a win condition now. And within a few for Shopify to go up by 2.
A big kill indeed. Let's see, no combat involved with the sniper there. Instead, it's going to sit top middle. Thought they might try to blow that to A bags. But as you say, 47-41, this should be pretty comfortable. They're going to look to slow the game down just a bit and find these last few kills. Last shot with QT as well is going to mean a free push.
Yeah, really good just to not get sucked into the situation there by LastShot. Goes back, takes a little moment to get the QT, and now he can be aggressive. Now he can push in, and Eco importantly hits the no-scope. Lucid will find one as well to keep this interesting, but LastShot using that QT, keeps himself alive. Lucid is bottom middle, he'll be the last, but it's Royal 2 who beats him literally to the punch, and Shopify Rebellion find themselves up by 2.
50-42, your final score after a really strong start from SSG, but it felt like even when SSG was looking their best right around that 10 kill mark, Shopify Rebellion keeping the game close throughout all of it. Very good power up and control, and I'm so glad we got that extended listening as well to hear the Shopify side, not just to hear, I think, how tight the communication was, but also just to hear, I think, as we talked about, you and I talked about a lot before this tournament, this is a vibey, energetic squad, right? In the comms, you just heard it. Even when they have something like an 8+ kill lead, they're not only stressing the correct callouts, but you could just tell there's this intensity and excitement about finding that last kill. Let's rotate, let's collapse again. There's a hunger for it in the comms, and it's amazing to listen to. They take game number 2, 50-42.
That's that man, Frosty again, 14-9, leading the lobby in assists as well. The only player to break double digits on assists, the least deaths in the game, and apart from Lucid, the most kills in the game as well. It's the perfect Slayer stat line coming in from Bradley Bergstrom, and we mentioned if he goes off, if he puts up big numbers, they usually win games. And that's exactly the case here. On the other side of things, a little bit of a slow one for Eco, 7-14 for him. But you mentioned the good start. I think there was one turning moment there. Just a couple of moments in that game. The one that sticks out to me is the last shot play bottom middle.
Yep.
Eco comes round the corner, responds to the call out in the way that he should. LastShot's half shields, but somehow LastShot not only trades in that situation, which Eco would be frustrated with, doesn't even trade.
Yeah.
Here's the repulse stick, he stays alive. And those kind of things, those swings, those kills are the ones that swings are made off the back of, and I think they're also the ones that hurt so much if you're on the receiving end of it. You go Rats on, you're like, I got a kill here, we're thinking about next, but before you know it, you're down numbers. Before you know it, he's still alive, he's fighting someone else. All of these things start to just snowball, and 50-42 is your final score, and we always say that's, at this level, between the best teams in the world, pretty convincing.
Yeah, not a close game in the end. Oddball Streets will be the battleground for number 3, and I agree. I think Shopify, one thing I just want to keep highlighting is they are winning their ones, right? And it's amazing how much they're relying on each other simply to win their ones, even as the last player alive, making sure, as you said, you trade or better. You get extra damage on a third player as well, and how the team responds to that. And that right now is one of the most difficult things about Shopify, and there's only 2 ways really that a team can handle that. They can try to send numbers a certain direction to outnumber that 1v1, or they can make sure they win their corresponding 1v1s, right? Both easier said than done, but I think both tonight and tomorrow, you're going to need to see the only way that Shopify is going to get taken down is that the Pivs are starting to be won by the opponents, or, as we saw, for example, when Shopify lost their Origin Slayer, it was because C9 was sending multiple players to each angle at once and then isolating the corresponding player. So it's doable, but you have to find the right recipe to take down these Shopify players one by one.
Yeah, going back to the talk we had with Royal 2, is he was saying that now that with the game of the state it is, the meta the state it is, the bandit the way it is, like winning individual fights now is such a big component of Halo Infinite, and it sounds very simple to say, but previously you would be able to team shot someone very quickly, but now you get those isolated 1v1 moments a lot more, and he's winning all of them. Like every time you see Royal 2 on your screen, it's like he just wins the Piv, and you can say that about so many, all of Shopify Rebellion. Like it's very rare that you see them lose one, and it's almost freakish when you see them in those situations. They have I hate to use the word, but the aura about them when you're in that individual fight. If you're up against them and you know you miss a bullet, you know that's going to cost you your life.
Yep. It does feel like it. When you're watching it from the opponent's POV, it feels like Shopify players are flying at you, and whether it's just simply that flying at you and winning a 1v1, or they have QT in hand, etc., it just feels like the pressure is too much, and that is exactly what it has been for SSG so far this series, as we get ready to head into game number 3, Oddball.
Well, Oddball has not been a great game type for SSG. We'll have to see if the work has been put in to make this one maybe the start of something special for them in this series. StelluR looks extremely focused. All of SSG look extremely focused. They want to try and find the answers. It's not like they're rolling over here. Everybody just took a moment to step off stage as well, maybe just have a conversation about how we approach these next 3 games, and you've got to look at it as a 3-game series now.
Yes.
Otherwise they are headed down to that elimination bracket, and we know who's waiting there.
Yeah. Some serious opponents without a doubt. Take a look at the intensity here from Elamite.
I love that from him. Get them fired up. I think they need that.
Exactly. And this is something you and I talked about, is how is this team going to be intensity-wise, right? There are 4 collected and calm players, stoic, you could even say. And do they have a player really that is their fire and their intensity? And you could say Elamite is that voice on the side. The question is, can he get the team back in this? For SSG fans, this is a big opportunity, because let's not forget, we did see on Oddball Streets not the best performances from Shopify on LAN at the Kaysan Invitational. We saw them lose this game type to Optic, and maybe an opening, maybe an opportunity for SSG to get back in this series and send us into the later games.
I need to see more from SSG though. They haven't shown me enough in those first 2 games to convince me that this is going to be a different story. You're looking at the damage dealer here in Oddball, plus 93 damage per minute. That's not per game, that's per minute. Think about that.
It's a whole lot of damage.
Extrapolate that over a game of Oddball.
I'm extrapolating, and I'm terrified.
Well, here we go then. We'll start off with the man who just outputs damage. The human turret, LastShot, who has quickly made himself a household name here in the Halo Championship Series. Now we've got to remember that him and Cykul still don't have a major championship to their name. And off the rip here, Spacestation do win the opening battle. So it's 3 dead for Shopify Rebellion. SnakeBite's going to rotate that ball towards his teammates. And a little bit of positivity here off the break.
They do lose a player, though, all the way at tires, and there's also a red gun just beaming. So they're going to need to hope that they get the right spawns here. Let's see. They're going to have players on Commando as well as Driveway. And I think they're going to get the spawns they needed.
Oh, big kills. Big kills. That's not just the camo. That was the red gun down as well. LastShot and Cykul, though, putting pressure onto that Oddball. And that's synonymous for me as Lucid picks up one with how Shopify approach certain moments. They're shoulder to shoulder. 2 guns are better than 1 when you're facing a lane.
Without a doubt, now 2 dead each side. Let's see how this push goes. SnakeBite, once again, just laning. Might get sandwiched here in pinch. You expect the assist to come in, and it does. Still 2 dead for SSG.
2 dead once more. Struggling to just get some numbers on the map here, SSG. And the last 2 players you can see just trapped in tires. The oddball has reset. It's a 3-second advantage here for oddball hold time for SSG, but I mean, it might as well be 0-0 as it will essentially be tied up in the next few moments. Shopify Rebellion do get their hands on that oddball, but SSG are fighting here. They're being aggressive, and they look like they're just picking up the pace a bit here.
3 dead World 2, last player alive, man, on your screen. Might even get 1 here, and that's what I'm talking about. How often do we say it about players, how important it is to get that, at least that trade as the last player alive, and that essentially keeps them off the ball once again. You could just tell by the total game time elapsed and the lack of time on the scoreboard. Once again, these teams are tactical teams. They want to get all the pieces right before they go for a hold, and already one of the lowest scoring balls we've seen in quite some time.
2v2 right now, the battle for the camo is going down. Frosty's going to win it, and not only that, somehow win a fight to get away with it. That's got to be frustrating for SSG. As Royal 2 puts damage alongside Frosty onto 2 members of SSG who are just trying to survive on the driveway. But the oddball, most importantly here, is in the hands of Shopify back towards the tower.
Finally gets rotated away. Love that from Frosty as well.
Big win for
Unfortunately there, the sidekick at that range is a little bit tricky to finish. And finally, as you said, a little bit of points on the board here, but SSG with some good pressure, they get 2 dead from Shopify, make it a staggered 3 dead.
Seems like notably for me that SSG are just trying to pick the pace up a little bit here, and they're trying to recognize their advantages a little bit quicker on the map. You see, as soon as they get a kill, as soon as they get some damage, there's multiple players who are starting to progress up the map to try and engage a little bit more.
SnakeBite there, they've run the ball at them there. I'm not sure if they knew this bomb was going to come or if they wanted to bring this fight. You would think that maybe they want to rotate it back, and yes, indeed, they will. I think maybe they were anticipating a little bit of a different set of spawns. In the end, though, they will maintain control for now.
Enemy has the ball.
Lucid will clean up Royal 2 after the damage is done. Last shot, no shields.
Enemy has the ball.
SnakeBite just recognizes he's got the window here to grab that oddball and rotate it away from that lane that is consistently being pressurized by Shopify Rebellion. Frosty with the red gun, though, is going to create an opening over on the arcade side of the map, and Cykul with the second is going to force a potential play ball. Yes, indeed, it's going to be SnakeBite who sends that one down to bottom middle. But who's there to catch it? Bring it back? Name Cykul.
Important wins here from SnakeBite. Picks up these 2 and might even stay alive here.
Sure, might keep him alive as well.
Oh my.
Not sure how SnakeBite just survived as long as he did. That's some experience, that's some brilliant play from him, and StelluR converts a couple of those shots that were from the bandit of SnakeBite into kills here for SSG. 26 points on the board for them now, and all of a sudden, SSG look like they're finding something here, finding a little bit of that elusive rhythm that they talk about so much.
3 dead as well. This should be a free camo here. Royal 2 probably won't get that stick. In the end, they'll keep him weak. Lucid will do a very nice job to safely pop that. He makes sure he doesn't pop that early just in case he had gotten stuck. And now he's going to have all the info and all the damage. Oh, there's tram spawner that catches him out. So in the end, not as much as they would have wanted out of that camo, but still a decent amount of points on the board.
Also good to just at least keep the camo out of the hands of Shopify Rebellion. LastShot just destroys StelluR in the individual. And if you're wondering what we're talking about with these 1v1 battles, that's StelluR that LastShot has just put on his back.
Saw him getting excited as well. If you were watching his player cam, he was proud of that one, and for good reason. As you say, it's not an easy 1v1 to win, but he has been doing it this series, to say the least. Here comes Royal 2 on the flank. Shopify
with the ball in their hands as well. And we essentially have a tie game, just 8 points the difference between the 2 squads. Royal 2 throwing all sorts of sticky bombs. He's going to repulse SnakeBite back as well, but SnakeBite will hold ground, and it will be Cykul's last alive, and he'll grab that oddball as well, passed off by his teammate. Spawns come in over on the tram side for Eco. That means that SnakeBite's going to bring this one back to the protection of his spawner and his teammates, and Lucid, he's going to be the one furthest forward on the map for SSG here, looking to pick up kills, and he found 1 already on LastShot.
Great rotation work from SnakeBite there, doesn't waste any time. Take a look, already 53 points on the board, but right now, because of how low scoring and tactical this game has been, we only have 115 on the game clock. StelluR with a very nice pair of kills as well with the red gun. Make it 3.
Oh, he finds a triple kill. There's another player in front of him. He didn't see him, but now he does. No. It's not going to be the overkill, but the triple is enough. And StelluR is starting, maybe, to wake up a little bit in this series. Maybe the 1v1 against LastShot has just said, hey, I'm not going to let that happen again.
StelluR moving so fast, he's accidentally G-sliding past the overkill, which is a good sign for them. 66-33 with just 60 seconds left.
Camo off as well. Red jump here. Good trade coming in from Lucid. That means Royal 2 is the only one alive, and Eco has the op ball in his hands, and StelluR has a camo in his chest. SSG showing life here. 50 seconds left in this game. They can play the clock. They can force Shopify to come to them.
Absolutely. They're going to hold for right now. We'll have to see if they start to play the clock. Certainly, depending on how the gameplay goes, there are a lot of scenarios in which they would start to play the clock. Now 41 seconds left.
Somehow StelluR got away. Just felt like he was going to die about 3 or 4 times in that situation. Frosty slides in to try and get the trade, but no. StelluR holds his ground, keeps that distance, and keeps the numbers in the favor of Shopify Rebellion. Really big, important fight about to go down at the back of Tramp.
It was 3 dead. Stays alive long enough for all of his teammates to spawn, which is part 1. However, Lucid is the first to fall, but that's a big 1v1 win. As they're now going to have an opportunity to collapse on B. 2v2 on the map.
And they need to. Cykul's going to run this ball away. Cykul's out of there. B gets cut down. And it's StelluR again with another important kill.
Wow.
A vital kill here for SSG. 8 seconds for Royal 2. He's got that ball in his hands, but it's desperate times now for Shopify in this round.
Here they come. Shopify going to have split spawners. These 2 players need to hold off. Oh no! Somehow the insta, the perfect insta. And 2 dead. 1 second left on the clock. A beautiful finish to the round. What a collapse from Spacestation Gaming. And they have woken up, as you say, in the series. They'll take round number 1 of Game 3.
If you want to beat Shopify, you have to match them in kills. You have to beat them in kills. Look at the stats on the side of SSG right now. SnakeBite, 16 and 8 for him with 43 seconds of ball time. StelluR, 20 and 12. Both having incredible performances in that first round and just not allowing Shopify to get the numbers they're so dangerous with. It's been brilliant. This reset from SSG.
That's what I love about the matchups this season. Just when you think this series might be over, SSG comes out with a round 1 like that. Like you said, look at these stats. To see SnakeBite 17 and 9, StelluR 20 and 12. An amazing first round, and really taking advantage of their prowess in this game. Type Cykul, last player alive on the Neons. That should mean a free camo here. Almost. As Lucid will grab the camo here. Spacestation off to a nice early lead once again. And they're back in this series in a big way. Can they do it again?
Well, 2 grenades going to be exchanged. Frosty and Eco both stuck each other then. Cykul, no idea. Does get the beat down though, and that could be frustrating here for Lucid as he's taken down. 2v2 on the map for now, but losing out on that Stalker and the camo in that situation where you feel like you got a guaranteed kill in front of you isn't the most efficient way to get through those moments of the game. 37 points on the board though for SSG, and Shopify kind of chasing their tails a little bit here.
Yeah, this is a bit transitional here. They need to make sure that if they're going to get taken down, they get taken down. It's finally 3 dead. It was a bit of a delayed hold there. SnakeBite's able to stay alive at PD for a very long time though, so they're able to get an early 30-point lead, but that is being cut down now. How does Eco play this?
Eco's playing this so well because I think he's going to get spawns on Cafe for them as well, but now have seen that and recognized that. Look how quickly Shopify are out there. They were waiting for that info, they get that info, and then they immediately rotate away.
Oh, good damage here already coming in from Eco. 3v3 on the map. As SSG has a minor hold here and an opportunity to break. I think they're going to get this hold. Let's get to a listening now with the SSG side.
He's one shot on ball, going front trash. Kill this guy. He's going top trash. He's still trash. He's on it. Behind me, B, you guys. B. Okay, PJ has camo. I'm trying to look at you, PJ. I'm trying to look at you.
B steps to driveway side. One B back.
Yo, B steps.
Nice, skip ball.
PJ.
Frosty, guys. Let's see,
I'm trying to cover Tommy for ball.
B row.
B steps, weak. Going tires.
Tommy, get ready to bring it back, okay?
Yep, still B row.
Going trash. Going trash. Stuck me, Frosty, drag gun, Stalker.
One of B pillars.
It's one shot driveway, bottom driveway.
2 shot B row.
He has stuff.
Spot me B pillars. That guy going.
I think it's tires.
Yeah, he's plants to front. He's sitting behind plants.
I hear that.
Going B pillars. B steps.
You're good.
B steps to P1. B steps to P1.
Top five,
No, B steps to P1. Go P1.
Should be weak.
One shot benches, nothing.
Hear that. Still there. In arcade. Arcade benches.
Playing arcade. Playing arcade.
I hear that.
2 C back.
Arcade. That's one.
I'm one hit, Kevin. One hit. They have
I'm walking through.
Hey, we should be going fast.
Ball's half.
We got me.
I think they're both here.
Yes.
I'm coming, guys. I'm coming.
We're gonna get needed. C back, maybe?
No, Frosty's hiding.
Frosty dead.
Last guy's P
Yo,
probably.
laundry and P1, I think. Laundry and P1.
Laundry's weak.
Yo, laundry's half.
P1 killed me, guys. He's here. Okay, last shot.
He's a bullet. He's a bullet on spikes. Two spikes. Two on spikes.
Ball drop.
Go.
I'm sub on me.
Yo, already trash. Already there.
Jump it up. He has a shot. Third arcade, Frosty. B-stairs as well. B-stairs and then Frosty.
B-steps the ball. Ball guy's really weak.
Ice cream.
He's P1.
Go on arcade.
Spikes on you, Tommy. Spikes on you.
Hit on one step,
One spikes.
Back down.
120.
Yo, arcade and top. I'm one shot, guys. I'm one shot, Brandon.
I'm on benches, guys.
You
Go to tires.
Yeah, Ivy weak. There's two there.
Two one shots on me.
Too weak. Pushing. I'm here.
Back in the back.
There's 2 1-shots up Ivy. 2 1-shots up Ivy.
Ammo now.
I traded be close.
Last guy. They have
Slip
camo.
up. I'm trying to find camo guy. Yo, he's on camo now. One on camo at least. Cykul. And then ball guy.
Yeah, I spawn B.
Yeah, you should get to Mando, Tommy. Get to Mando.
We are out of the listening as the game is tied up and Shopify now go into a lead. And it's so fascinating to compare the two styles of communication for both teams.
Yeah, it really is there. You heard from SSG, and I think it's what a lot of people are expecting. It's so calm, and I think there's huge pros and cons to that. I think you have to wonder, are they stressing the call-outs they need to, right? Are things too calm? We'll have to see throughout the rest of the event, but in the end, throughout the entirety of the listening, they do forfeit the lead. Now they trail by 10.
2 dead hit for SSG. Oddball is down. LastShot with a nice double kill. Royal 2 finally has to get his hands dirty and grab that oddball himself. 3 dead for SSG. Eco last alive, and you can see where he is positioned on the observer mode as well. He is a long way away, and Cykul has already chopped him down. So the hunt begins for Shopify Rebellion to find these respawners as Royal 2 just stands in and watches his teammates go to work, and go to work they are.
They do get 2 dead here. SSG's trying to make this push happen. SnakeBite trying to stay alive on C stairs. Gonna try to fly through, but cannot. Gets stuck by Royal 2. Big damage. LastShot just pop with a red gun from bottom mid. Continuing to patrol around Tram. He's got help as well.
He's so confident in his shot. It's going to be 3 dead though for Shopify Rebellion. 4 dead momentarily for Shopify Rebellion as the break will come in. Royal 2 got a little bit of a fortunate
I'm going to say, how is he
on the red room on the arcade side, immediately keeping pressure on.
4 players fall, and all of a sudden Royal 2's just at the back door, just popping shots. Imagine that's nightmare fuel. Don't want to wake up to that. However, though, SSG does hold the base for now, and the game is still within 20.
Big kill from SnakeBite though. Red gun is still in the hands of SSG, I believe, as well. LastShot finds one. But the damage has been done, and the ball is still in the hands of StelluR here. Look at that score at the bottom of your screen. It's creeping up for SSG here, and Shopify Rebellion, it feels like for the first time in this series, are feeling the pressure a little bit.
Yeah, they're going to have to make this happen here. All 8 players up on the map. Watch the damage. Watch this first pick.
Look at the flank coming in. Somehow they break through. I'm not sure if it was a breakdown in communication or something there from SSG, but that felt too easy.
I think somebody pizza jumped. And it was a good play indeed, and they get behind him on commando, and StelluR gets taken down as well. 99-100. Shopify will tie the game with a very, very impressive round, and we are going to a game-deciding and potentially series-deciding round number 3.
I need to watch the end of that game back because it felt like Spacestation had numbers and they had some semblance of at least a transitional setup in Tram. And like you say, a pizza jump happens, someone maybe takes damage, has to back down, but then just walk through so comfortably to get that break. And I think that Spacestation might be a little bit frustrated with the way that that round actually ended for them.
SSG definitely needs to find, just ice up, focus on exactly how they played that first round so well. And by the way, 4 dead. It's 2 players alive here. Should mean a grab of the ball and probably a rotate back A based on the spawns we're seeing. And they will have early time on the board. It was a great opening as we take a look at the numbers. StelluR is still 33-24 here, leading the game by far, and they're going to look to close it out, of course, in this round, not just to win the game, but also to stay alive.
Well, Frosty's going to get this camo. Everyone else from his team had pushed past the camo to create some space for him. Now he's going to find multiple members. Lucid, he's got a stalker rifle. He's going to back up smartly, knowing that this takes time off that camo once more. And look at SSG. They're trying to hunt at the moment. They're trying to play some corners. They're trying to be obnoxious. They're trying to hunt down this camo. Eco finds one.
Oh my.
Frosty somehow or other manages to get the beat down, even with the repulse coming in there from Lucid. And SSG find themselves 2 dead. And Frosty's still alive with his camo and now starting to backstab.
Yeah, this is devastating here. Still alive and still going to help top A. 3 dead. Lucid is your last player alive. He's all the way at driveway. Separate, by the way, from StelluR, who's top C stairs. So this is going to be a staggered push. And Eco's going to have to try to make something happen on B solo.
Frosty with the 1v1 win again. Takes the 1v1, wins the 1v1. Royal 2 just being a nuisance once more. It somehow gets a stick. It's 3 dead for SSG. but they do, most importantly, even though the kills aren't going their way, still have a slender lead.
Amazing shots from LastShot. Not easy to fly up the L and challenge someone in Cafe who has also the option to back down. Of course, with the cover of the Cafe pillars. In the end, he'll win that battle. And still an early lead for Space Station, but it has dwindled now to just 10 points.
It's a really scrappy start to this third round. On both sides, 2 dead here for SSG. Camo was picked up, but it's not going to be taken down. The flank from Frosty not only kills 2 members of SSG, but takes the power up away from them as well.
Just going to take his time here now. Even though they still trail by a few, they can play this slow. And just going to get info. You're going to see pings from Frosty here, and he's waiting for help. Help is on the way, and here they go.
EK finds the first pick, though. Lucid finds another, and now they're going to give the position away from Frosty. So SSG do a good job of actually focusing on everyone else but Frosty. And even if they do finally turn their attention to him, they now learn that Frosty can still pick up double kills. 27-17 the score still, but Shopify just look like they've stolen that ball away, preventing those kills turning into time here for SSG.
You can tell Shopify not worried about the score right now. They've been slaying out for the past, feels like 2 minutes.
It's just a really good nap.
Enemy has the ball.
But as you say, it might cost them here. Now they have to push up. They do get the first pick, however. Here comes the push and the break.
So it's a really smart play from SSG there, actually. They saw they had numbers, and they were like, you know, we don't need to kill these players. We just move the odd ball away. We run away. We've done a little bit of damage. He's not going to challenge 2 of us. Instead, he's going to challenge 1 and get a trade. It's 2 dead on either side. It's actually 3 dead, excuse me, for Space Station. And finally, Shopify will break enough to get the odd ball back in their hands.
SnakeBite knew he had to wait. He does get eco-spawning music, though. Thank goodness the pre-nade does not hit him in PD, and now they can make this push happen from B side, but they're a little bit split here. They need to be careful. They still have players over at Tram, and LastShot's going to actually fly into Tram to be an absolute destroyer of dreams. 4 dead for Space Station. Look at the aggression from LastShot, identifying the split spawns, identifying the players are all the way at caution, which means he had a free push into C. That's going to buy them even more time. It's a big lead change. Shopify now leading by more than 10.
Look how much map is controlled by Shopify as well. They are so far up on the map on the spawns. It's going to be 2 dead. Camo's up as well. That's just been dealt with. It's down bottom middle. LastShot's going to get away with it. And with 54 points on the board and the odd ball in their hands, he actually leaves it from Frosty, or maybe just didn't quite realize it was there. Frosty recognizes staying alive with the camo here, the most important thing to do.
How about also from the heavens, the Shroud just comes out of nowhere to shroud the camo grab. They've got every single piece of the puzzle just clicking, 60-33.
Frosty trying to wait to that camo to come back every time he challenges. So smart from him. Royal 2 with another stick. I want to see how many sticky kills he's got in this game. And that's 3 dead for SSG. It's 67 points on the board. SSG need to find some steal here, otherwise this series is done.
And wild to see StelluR still leading the game in kills, however trailing now and maybe moments away from losing this game in a little mini reverse sweep here in oddball. 79 points on the board, only 20 to go for Shopify.
Frosty's behind enemy lines once more. Just walked into Tram, but he's last alive. He gets taken down, and StelluR's got that odd ball in his hands. SSG do show us some life. SSG do show us that they can match them in these kill fights, and now Shopify Rebellion have got to break themselves.
LastShot with the red room spawn is going to help these commando battles, and they've got to isolate, first of all, this battle. Cykul picks up the first one, and now, even though we see more ball time here, it's 3v3 on the map. These next kills will determine where the game goes.
StelluR gets 2, and he has that odd ball in his hands, by the way. StelluR 39 and 33 with 104 seconds of ball time as well, and he gets the ball into Tram. StelluR is trying to drag Space Station Gaming into a game 4 here. SnakeBite gets taken down by Royal 2, and now you can see Frosty flying forward.
Let's see how this plays out. 2 dead. This should be an easy collapse now for Shopify.
StelluR, oh my god, those shots from Royal 2. Crispy as you like. And Cykul will bring that ball back in towards the safe embrace of Royal 2. He flies forward to find another one. A trade here, and you get the feeling it might be done here. No stick this time around, as Lucid will get the kill, but he's last alive.
Last alive, and now he's traded out. Eco's the last player alive. 91 points on the board. It's only Eco with the driveway push. 5 to go.
Gonna have to be a miracle push here from Space Station, but LastShot will get the first kill, and it won't happen. It will be Shopify Rebellion who sweep SSG aside. Space Station will be down in that elimination bracket, and Shopify Rebellion will continue their run in the winners.
And what felt like life from the side of Space Station Gaming in the end is shut down by Shopify, who had different plans and a different idea for the series. They will go ahead and win the next 2 big games back-to-back rounds, of ball to take game number 3. We'll take a look at the stats in just a second. Handshakes are exchanged. on the Space Station side of the stage, and Shopify will return to their side with a perfect series, really. It's a 3-0 win, even though we saw some interesting moments in these games, and as we said, SSG starting to perform. It was all Shopify all the way through. Your final score, 238 to 207, elapsed. They will take the series 3-0.
I mean, you look at the scores, but the feel of the games, it always felt like Shopify Rebellion were in control. Whether it was game number 1, Fortress, whether it was game number 2, where we saw the 50-42 pretty convincing live fire Slayer finish, or if it was that oddball, just the one round elapsed and slipped away from them. But the way they dominated that final round there, those final, I would say the final 3 or 4 minutes of the round as well, it just felt like Shopify Rebellion really weren't going to let Space Station off the lead. And I tell you what, man, they look dangerous, they look scary, and they look like they're here to win a championship.
Take a look at some highlights from that game as well. A fantastic game number 3 that went all the way down to the wire, and undoubtedly the closest game in the series. We gotta say, 9-0 map count, Shopify Rebellion versus SSG in 2025. This is now their third 3-0 after the Kason Invitational back-to-back 3-0s. And certainly, in terms of this matchup, they've got every piece of the puzzle. One thing I noticed in this game, it felt like, especially as we were in the SSG listen, as they started to let that second round go, it felt like there was just a little bit of a timing gap. Here's StelluR just flying past the over, but it felt like StelluR would fly into Tram. We saw it happen. He would get 2 players weak, and Lucid would be, for example, just 1 second behind. And not necessarily Lucid's fault, it's just an overall timing picture on the team. What I mean is, each moment it felt like they had the items and the ingredients that they needed, but maybe just not the exact timing that they needed. And it feels like that sums up the series.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's just something is going to click, you feel, with SSG at some point, and they will be very, very dangerous, whether it's tomorrow, whether it's later today, whether it's a couple of events down the line. You can see everything is there for success. You can see what they can do, but there's still these moments where it just starts to unravel in front of you and something isn't quite connecting. But for Shopify Rebellion, we really should be giving them the plaudits. You see how gassed they were, how hyped up they were in the just the listen-ins, the reactions.
Yeah, exactly.
They want this more than anyone. You can feel it in this Shopify team.
Yeah, you really can. I'm so glad we got to have those listen-ins with the team because, like we said, these guys are hype in-game. And it's such a contrast between what you heard on the SSG side, even when SSG was winning the oddball game. It's such a different communication style. Both can work, but it's clear that in this series, it was Shopify that did the work.
So Shopify Rebellion with the win, with a 3-0 win, I should say, in our winners semi-final. They will move on to our winners final, and I believe that Blaze is on the stage right now with Royal 2, and I'm sure it's Royal 2 because I've not only been told him here, I can see him.